Kyle is
Another
in the penalty box, and
Yep, Kyle.
Andrew and I today.
Yeah, Kyle is no longer a boat bro. We are accepting applications at this moment. So anybody wants to, become a boat bro, you shoot us an application. There will be a whole interview process. You may or may not have to do some burpees or a few other little things to, actually make the cut. But guys, let's talk about the Chargers-Chiefs game, okay? Let's get into
it. Boat bros, let's go.
Ooh.
I'm Dale Henley. You watching the Boat Bros podcast? Let's do it!
Yes, and we are not joking. Kyle is no longer a boat bro. He's going to be removed from the channel promptly, post haste, all the above. No. So, anyways, pretty horrible. It's interesting. So we're going to go through quite a bit on this, guys. Let's talk a little bit more about the Chargers here, obviously. And man, guys in the chat, what do you think about Herbert, dude? I just feel like he's looking, man, just not himself. And, I don't understand, he just seems timid. Is that the right word for it? Guys, what do you think in the chat? He seems timid. He seems like he's afraid to run. I mean, that 1 second down play in the end zone, he threw the ball to Everett. He should have just ran the ball. He was open. He could have pump faked and then just ran to the edge. He would have had it. That happened last week too.
Yeah, and the thing that's interesting about Herbert is that I feel like, obviously, one, he's dealing with a finger injury on his left hand, not his throwing hand by any means. I get it. You don't want to jack that thing up. He's looking at 6 weeks or whatever they were saying that he'll probably be healed on that. I get it. But if you watch like a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes on a running play, when you run on the outside, what do? You keep running and you just do a little quick pump fake.
Pump fake.
Just keep the defense honest at that point.
Yep.
Show that you're going to run, but then you're going to throw. They have to choose which way you want to go at that point.
Yep.
And he's doing a lot of these things where he's just stopping and deciding to not go after it. And
it's like he's timid or overthinking something, and it's like, and I get it.
There.
I get it. Kyle, you are no longer a bolt bro, just so you know. You have been removed from the bolt bros. That you, unfortunately, sorry. Yep. You lost you there, James. You there? Okay. Yep. Just lost you there. So, I did not hear a word you say. What'd you say, James? Oh, you're dropping again. Okay. There you go. Yep. All right, James, why don't you just refresh your internet and come on back? I'll take over for a little bit. There we go. Okay, well, that was easy. So, guys, I am the only bolt bro here. Okay, and Kyle is no longer a bolt bro, just so you guys know. So we are taking applications. No, but look, guys, what do you guys think? Herbert, and by the way, guys, I don't think the season's over. I think the next 2 games are definitely winnable. That's one of the things I will say for sure. Definitely winnable games. But, guys, okay, we're going to go more into this, but okay, here's my other thing. My frustration, again, I talked about this right here. Why didn't Herbert run the ball when he had the opportunity at second, and I think it was second and goal, and the ball was right up. All he had to do was just run the ball, pump fake, and just run it to the ends. I just don't understand why he didn't do it. He seems off, somehow just timid. I don't know. He's afraid to get hit, something. It's just really, really odd, and I don't get why he's acting this way. So we're going to talk more about this as well too, guys, and keep throwing your questions out as well. We're going to get to all of them. Obviously, James will be back at some point here as well too. But Austin Eckler didn't have the best game either, right? And you look at his stats, his player stats. He was, let's see, Josh Kelly, Austin Eckler, 14 carries for 45 yards. Josh Kelly looked really good. He had 7 carries for 75 yards. We actually ran the ball fairly well. I understand the concept of trying to get the running game going and limiting the amount of touches that Patrick Mahomes gets. But look, the problem is when you play timid, you don't beat the Chiefs. That's the way I've always looked at it. You cannot play timid with the Chiefs. And I don't understand why we kept running the ball the second half. And I understand we were getting yards. I get it. Slow the game down, but just score some more points, be a little more aggressive. And I don't get what was going on with that dude. Palmer had a great game. 5 receptions for 133 yards. Absolutely amazing. Oh, there you are, James. Okay, here we go.
I'm back. Hopefully this works out a little bit better here.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so we were just talking about Palmer and kind of reviewing some of the stats as well too. I'm going to add a few more slides here also, but yeah, I mean, it was really frustrating to me that we were just playing the way we played. We just played super timid. And, so I wanted to get your thoughts on that, James, why we were playing so timid, what your general thoughts were. I don't get it. I don't get it. We were playing not to lose. Is that the right word for it?
Yeah. 100%. We were keeping pace there for a bit, and then we just ended up deciding to slow down. But at the same thing happened for the Chiefs. I mean, what did our defense end up doing? We started playing a little bit more man. We end up playing a little bit more towards the line. We started changing the game at that point. And it's funny how many times Tony Romo said, hey, look, this guy's playing 10 yards off of your man. You're going to throw to that guy every time. Hit your out.
Every time. I just kept thinking, I'm like, why are they not press man? Like, especially Kelsey. Okay. Like, I don't understand. Like, what do we say in our pregame? Bump him at the line and run with him. They did that the whole second half with Derwin James. Why the hell did you not do that the entire game is beyond me. I don't get it. Like, get in his face, punch him in the dick, show him what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand this timid nature that, guys, I could talk about this all day. I'm just so frustrated. I don't get it.
In the second half, in the last 3 games, we've scored 10 points.
10 points.
Yep. Last 3 games.
Yep.
There's something going on here with the second half offense. And look, I know the Chiefs have a pretty good defense. I mean, I'm not going to say they're elite defense, but something's not clicking in the second half for us offensively, and that's not going well for us at all. That's where we're losing games. That's losing opportunities. I mean, Tony Romo, I'm going to jump back on it again.
Yep.
About the whole defense thing. That we're losing games because we're being stupid about our third down defense. We're expecting our team to try to get in there and get a sack, expecting our team to just make some unbelievable interception play.
Yep.
I mean, of my notes, the amount of third and longs once again.
Yep. Way too many.
Constantly. There was one drive, I want to say it was the Chiefs' 7th possession on, here we go. Yeah. 7th possession after the half. So it was their 2nd possession after the half. They had a 3rd and 10 false start Chiefs, went on a 3rd and 15, still got 20 because Mahomes ran the ball to get the first down. Runs towards Bosa pretty much every time. Bosa was limping around. You could tell he's almost pointless to be out there with that broken toe. And then in 3rd and 10, they finally get a sack on that situation. But there was multiples of these 3rd and longs, all these different situations. Just cannot find a way to be your own worst enemy. We cannot find a way to end it. I mean, we showed a stat in our pregame of how often we're getting burned on 3rd and 10 plus yard type plays. We're just getting destroyed.
Yeah. And again, Josh Kelly looked good. I felt like we played a little too just generally timid across the board, right? It was too timid. The second half, we actually played aggressive defense. That's exactly how I wanted us to play.
Exactly.
Jam them at the line. Don't give them a ton of space. Here's okay. If there's a positive from this moment, let's maybe move to the defense a little bit here. I know we could review some of the stats, or I can't remember the next slide. Oh, okay, Palmer. Let's talk about Palmer real quick.
Yeah.
Dude, Palmer had a straight up whale of a game, dude. 5 receptions, 135 yards. Dude, he is stepping up. Dude, amazing. And that, anyways, I just thought he was amazing. He did a great job. Quentin had 1 pass for 20 yards. That was great. He got one pass.
They did target him a little bit late in the game and threw a pass downfield, but it's frustrating. I'm interested to see the snap counts on this because there was a lot of times when I kept seeing Darius Davis out there versus Quentin Johnston in situations that you want to go more height than speed. You didn't even use Darius Davis at all. You decided to Put less height out there and just go for more speed. All around, it's just frustrating to watch the offense play. The defense did their job, in my opinion, and it was.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they did too.
Great job in the second half of really adjusting, but then they started kind of going back again later on to like off coverage again. And dude, it's like McCole Hardman basically burned us on the punt return. McCole Hardman got a 3rd and like 10 on us late in the game. It's just playing off coverage is not going to work. It's like, once again, it's like Gus Bradley in a sense, where we're playing all the stupid zone-based coverage, cover 3 kind of situation, and you're just getting destroyed every time. I mean, it's really, really frustrating to watch. It's really frustrating to watch.
And they played man quite a bit too in the second half. I think that's pretty much what they played. It was mostly press man, but again, and they also had Derwin James on. They had Derwin James on. Kelsey the whole second half, but I'm like, why wasn't he on him the entire beginning of the game? I just don't understand it. Right? It should have been that way more at the beginning, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So just very, very odd, very curious to me.
It's kind of funny. Somebody actually is it Holo Taco Hits has said classic fourth quarter Justin Herbert interception. I didn't even really dawn on that again, because once again, we showed that stat of just showing off how many fourth quarter one score type game interceptions. It's just, dude, something just ain't right. Like something ain't right. Gosh.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's curious. And then Thule looked good out there as well too, man. I mean, defensively, he looked good. I like how he's playing. Kenneth Murray got a sack. Kenneth Murray's looking really good out there. I mean, the weird part is we only got 1 sack on Jesus. And we didn't contain him. We had 1 punt, which I thought was really interesting. I'm sorry, we had one field goal. And then we had Amy just messaged me. I'm keeping hope. Jake, we punted the ball 5 times. Anyways, there's a lot. We're going to discuss a few more things on this as well too. But again, Thule looked pretty good. Our pass rush was abysmal. I don't really understand why we consistently just rush 4 guys, and we just expect to somehow get pressure on someone like Mahomes. You're not going to get pressure on Mahomes with 4 guys, not usually, right? You can occasionally, but for the most part, no, you're not going to do that. So just very, very curious to me. And again, why wasn't this guy 110% on Travis Kelce the entire game? Yeah. So let's review the stats real quick, and then let's just go into it real quick. I know because let's review the stats. I think it's important to just kind of see where we're sitting on stats. And this team, it's weird. Like this team cannot seem to put it together. Like the defense played great the second half, offense played great the first half, and we went to bed the second half. Like it's very curious to me, and I'm like, why? I don't get it. It's very hard for me to understand.
The one thing about Derwin James, though, there was Chiefs' 3rd possession. That was where there's 2 straight completions to Kelce. One of them was man-on-man for 54 yards with Asante on him.
Yep.
So matchup-wise, you got to think about that. Kelce's like a 6'5" tight end versus a 5'10" cornerback. Yep. Doesn't work, guys. I mean, that's a height issue at that point.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't man up that guy with him. You man him up with Jasir Taylor, who made a pretty solid play on Kelce later in the game, because obviously there's a height and speed situation there that you have where you have possible advantage. It just doesn't make sense. Like there's some continuity to this team is not working. One side works great. And in our pregame, somebody even talked about it. One side works great. The other side doesn't. We can't be on the same.
But the problem is so Obolt right here just said Staley post-game presser. We had a game plan. Players didn't execute. Man, if he's going to start blaming players, then his ass is out the door, dude. There's no chance. You cannot start blaming players, dude. I'm sorry.
You can't. I mean, the thing about it is with a head coach, when you start hearing stuff like that, that's when if you start pointing the gun at them, you guys didn't execute. I did what I needed to do. It was 100% not going to be a problem. If what I called, the thing about it is like these players are going to start saying, this is old news now, guys. Like, we're trying to do what we can. I mean, you can't blame us on this. I will say this. The Bull Bros will be at the Bears game next week.
Yep.
Bagnet or Baguette or whatever the guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he looked pretty good.
He looked good. Yep. And if we lose next week, the wheels have fallen off on this team. That's bottom line. This team is now going to just be it's going to go bad at that point.
I don't know if I really believe that. I really don't. I'll disagree with you on that. I know Kyle would agree with you on that. But I do think though that this team needs to start figuring out how to win, right? And for whatever reason, Herbert seems to be completely out of sorts. I don't understand it. I mean, these interceptions he's throwing are completely bad interceptions, and he was pressured, but come on, man, like use your damn legs, man. I mean, he should have ran for that touchdown. On that second down, I was like, oh, he's going to run for it. And then he just kind of throws it to Everett. Like he throws like a straight up piss missile to Everett on the run. And I'm like, dude, run the fucking ball. Just run the ball. You're right there. Yep. Just run the damn ball. I was beyond furious. I'm still furious, as you can tell. But check this out. Dean Marlowe had a great game, dude. Look at this. 10 tackles, 1 assist. This guy has been an absolute stud muffin for us. Kendricks played great. Murray played great. Jasir Taylor played great. Dude, look, the defense did enough, but the offense, the second half was bullshit. Stop. Like, I can't even believe it. Can't even believe it.
It completely stopped. I mean, offensively, you can't win games generally on a 17-point, scoring offense. Like, you're not going to be able to do very well with that. You're not going to find a way to be able to win games at all doing that. I mean, it's statistically, I think it's like Justin Herbert. If we keep him under 28 points, we're probably going to find a way to win. I think his stats are like 19-5 or something like that. Well, we gave up 31. We lost. But ironically, it's weird. I saw this really odd stat. Not many times you get to 40 points, but Chargers haven't lost a 40-point game since 2001 or something crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Now, scoring 40 points is not easy on any NFL franchise, but it's just crazy to be able to see this. But bottom line, man, OB Bolt 661. I'm calling it next week. Bears over Bolts. Like, dude, I mean, contrary to what Andrew's saying, I can't even point correctly here. I think that's where the wheels fall off because, I mean, you got to look at it like if we lose to the Bears, we'd be 2-5. Realistically, you could only maybe lose 3 more at this point with like 10 games plus left or whatever it is. It's not going to be easy. That's not an easy road at that point. That's a winnable game. And Chargers cannot beat good teams at all either. So it's like, I think if we lose the Bears, that's a wrap.
Yep. Yeah. And like I said, I disagree. I think they can be fine. I think they've done plenty offensively, but again, second half, they were not good, but Herbert seems to be in his head. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's fighting with Taylor Biscotti or whatever her name is. And, whatever's going on with that dude, but like for whatever reason, he is struggling, and you could argue all day, well, it's Mike Williams or whatever, but you're right. The odds are bad. The Chargers are not a serious team at all. And it's really odd because I feel like with Brandon Staley, I like Brandon Staley. I like his leadership. I like the way he talks about things, but it's odd in execution, right? I feel like his game plan is always very weird to me, right? Because I don't understand why we played so conservatively the whole first half of that game. Dude, we gave them 3 touchdowns. Dude, nobody was on Kelsey at all. And it's very strange. It's very, very strange. And so again, I don't think anything's gonna happen anytime soon. But it'd be interesting.
In the whole thing, and I've chatted with Aether a little bit about it. How is this all of a sudden going to be a save season if you fire the coach today?
Yep. Nothing's going to change.
Nothing's going to change. Jeff Saturday, did that save the Colts season? No. A lot of these guys that basically get fired in mid-season, it doesn't all of a sudden mean you're a Super Bowl caliber team all of a sudden. Like it's a culture shift. It's a complete change of philosophies. It's complete change of who you're talking to at that point. It's almost like a reset at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you can't do that right now. You don't save the season at that point. Like there's no way. No way. Tell me a team that actually changed and fired a coach mid-season that ended up going to the Super Bowl and winning it.
The only argument would be that you could see maybe what like Kellen Moore would do as a head coach. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Like let's give him a shot. Let's see what he can say. And and by the way, Kelly, I was so pissed off about this as well. There were so many. And by the way, I was so sick and tired of seeing Taylor Swift on the freaking TV. I was like, come on, please stop showing her. Was anybody else getting annoyed by that? I mean, I was like, oh my God, please stop. I used to think she's hot. Now she annoys the hell out of me. So anyways, Yeah, and then
bad.
Mahomes' wife is a freaking clown, dude.
No.
She aggravates me. Oh my god, she's so annoying. So, no, but again, and I really do, John. You're exactly right. I really think Herbert's going through a slump, and I don't understand why though. It's really, I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't understand why though. Because the reality is he has the ability to, by the way, he audibled a ton on that game. I don't know if you noticed or not.
Yep.
He changed the play a lot. And so he's actually running the offense for the most part. I mean, they're basically they run a play. Here's the pass play. Here's the run play, and he could check in each one. He audibled a number of times. But again, but to your point though, James, I think the Bears game is very big because you need to get this team feeling a little happy again. It's pretty bad. Again, I was pretty annoyed with the first half defensive scheme on the Chiefs. I just don't get it. I was like, come on, guys. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Yep.
Yeah. It's insane. I mean,
playing not to lose. Playing not to lose. That's the right word for it.
100%. 100%. And this offense has to get its gear going. And it's interesting with Quentin Johnston when he got that one catch. I'm like, okay, is this the quarter they're going to start throwing the ball to this dude? I mean, I feel like Justin Herbert's not even looking to the right anymore. He's just looking to wherever Keenan Allen's at. Like,
exactly.
Wherever Keenan Allen's at, I'm going to throw it to him. The batted pass that basically ended up becoming a pick. That was like, I saw Keenan Allen. He looked good, but once again, 2 batted passes this game basically led to turnovers or ending of drives. And it's getting bad, man. I mean, it's starting to look bad.
Well, we're not playing like a good team, right?
No,
we're looking pretty bad in general.
Yep.
Yeah, again, there's a lot to discuss on this, right? Like but I really do believe though that we did not play aggressively until the second half, again, when we talk, look, I like Staley, I really do, but he did not show up. See, again, a great example, the Cowboys loss. Why did we not just do what the Niners did to the Cowboys? Like, why didn't we just play them very similarly? Right? We didn't. We played very timid, this soft zone, and it doesn't work. But right here again, once we started playing man, a little more press, a little bit more physical with these guys, it was a different game, right? The game was competitive. And if I'm a football player, I would rather look at a guy in front of me and say, great, it's you and me today, big boy. Let's go for it. And you're not going to beat me. And play that way, right? Like, that's how football is supposed to be played. And I feel like these soft, zone coverages is going to be tough. It's not the right way to. It's not working. Now, this brings up an interesting point though, and you talked about this, James, that I think a lot of teams in the AFC are probably going to be 9-8 and actually make the playoffs because there's a lot of these. A lot of these teams are playing that way. But throw your thoughts out there as well too.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and that's the whole thing. But you're at a position now where you could only lose 4. And that gets really, really hard right now. I mean, if you look at the thing I tend to do as a fan, I always pull out the microscope or pull out the lens just a little bit further to be able to see the bigger, broader picture at this point. This is the thing. Like, hypothetically, we should beat the Bears next week. You should.
You hypothetically, yes.
Hypothetically, we should. The Jets have not really that much offense at all. Monday Night Football, it's crazy. We have back-to-back primetime games. The Jets don't really have an offense per se. It's really their defense that wins their game. Now, if Justin Herbert goes out there and throws 3 picks, which I don't even think he's ever done that in his career, that's where we would end up losing if we just keep giving him more opportunities. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that we're going to be able to find a way to be able to beat the Jets. So now we're at 4-4. The Lions just got throttled today, by the way.
They got throttled, dude. Yes.
Yeah. They got destroyed.
And we're playing the Ravens and the Lions, which I think is crazy. So
right. And you look and say there's going to be the Lions back in LA. We could possibly find a way to be able to make that happen. I don't know. Jared Goff's going to be back in LA. Maybe he's going to have his buddies out there or whatnot. I don't know. Whatever's going to happen.
Buddies.
Let's
get him drunk before. Let's get him all like sauced up, get him all liquored up. So he's going to be all hungover the whole time.
Right. And then we play the Packers in Lambeau. So it's like there is kind of like this idea where you could find momentum. The issue is we need to beat good teams. I did a video earlier in the week just talking about Brandon Staley's career as a whole, win-loss records, and what he's done versus good teams versus bad teams, What I mean by good and bad teams is win-loss record for that season, 2 win-loss record for bad teams. And we're like 14-7 against bad teams, but we're like 6 and now 12 versus good teams in his career.
Yep.
You're not finding ways to beat the teams that you need to beat, and you're finding ways to beat the teams that you should beat more than anything. Now, there's a difference between that. Like, we need to be the team that could just beat everybody, and we're just being a team to just be 500. As an organization, we are a 500 organization. It's not getting any better at this point, and we got to find a way to get to that next level. Going back to the whole schedule ahead, we got chances where we could start getting back into it, but we can't lose against a team that
we're up against the wall is what you're getting at.
Very, very much so at this point.
Yeah, and again, it was interesting. Pipkins was okay. He was fine. He did okay. They were chipping quite a bit on that side, I noticed, which I thought was a good thing. I think when we talk about the offensive line, though, I will say this: losing Corey Linsley was huge. That was huge, right? He's the one calling, the line calls and everything. Yeah, it's tough. And I think Bosa is probably going to be the last. This is going to be the last year he's going to be a Charger, which is kind of sad to me. Again, I think Kellen Moore is fine. Again, you still have to ask yourself this question: was it Justin Herbert checking into the run play, or was it Kellen Moore calling a run play and then he was checking into a pass, or vice versa, right? And right here we go. Corey Lindsey's out is bigger than anyone has failed to mention. I agree 100%. Dude, he's an all-pro center. And still, he has a heart issue. What the hell? I still don't even know what the hell is going to happen with that guy. And it's like, man, just terrible, dude. Terrible.
Lindley is still out there with the team. He's on the sidelines and everything.
He is on the sidelines.
So you would assume that that's a good sign that he's on the sidelines. He still seems like he's got, an ear to the radios and everything like that and the play callings. But it does kind of give me that shades of like Nick Hartwick when his career started going down and he's hanging out on the sidelines and all of a sudden he's looking extremely thin. And I'm like, well, career's over with. Now, I'm not saying Corey Linsley's starting to look extremely thin. If I start seeing him lose 50 pounds, I'm like, well, I think he's going to call it a career at that point.
Yeah, he's going to be done.
I've seen that before.
And you got to wonder, is it a heart murmur? What happened? How the hell do you all of a sudden have a heart problem being 30 years old, right? I mean, it just seems really strange to me. Like you should have been able to get that figured out through a physical. I just don't get it.
Yep.
So
Alex Givens is actually talking a lot about that right now. He said, hey, look, he said, former college center here, you cannot just replace a center like that. It's nothing. So many call reads to make from a protection perspective. I mean, Linsley was a core part to that whole offense.
Big time. Huge.
And I'll say one more thing. We got to stop running the ball up the gut a lot. And remember in the offseason, we kept talking a lot about the left side of our line and how dominant it's going to be. And I feel like we don't really run to the left that often. And the times that we did in this game, we ran really well. I don't know why we love to just push it up the gut every single time, especially when you don't have a guy like Corey Linsley.
Yep. Yeah, but again, Herbert just seems uncomfortable. I don't know what it is. I'll just say this: as a coach, I can understand the concept of, hey, I have a plan, and I do believe Herbert is under 500 now. I do believe that's correct.
It's like one game under 500, I think.
Yeah, correct. Yes, that's about right. Now, again, anything can happen, right? We can get a game, but Austin Eckler doesn't look good. He looks like he hurt himself again. He might be out. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But man, it's just crazy. And again, Staley can't beat the Chiefs. See, here's the point. The whole reason why he was hired was because he showed how he can beat the Chiefs, and he's not done it his entire career as a head coach. So that's a huge argument against not keeping him around. And Alex Gibbons, Casey's defense is absolutely elite right now too. It's a good point. They actually look pretty good, which is weird because we sure as hell made the offense look pretty good the whole first half. And it was Staley's soft zone. Just let them have 5 to 10 yards every time. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, and you could see how different it was when we decided to not do that. Just playing tight coverage. I think it was a stat 2 games ago that they were showing off Asante Samuel in his coverage grade of playing man-to-man. And it was like, he's like elite. Like PFF was putting him at like 90 or something like that. Like absolute stud. Like play to a player's strengths. Like that's the whole thing about it is. That's where like I feel like, once again, like when you go and talk about like Bill Belichick, I feel like he's always got the best out of every player. He understands the strengths of a player. Now I'm going to say right now, like that team is a mess right now. They did beat the Bills though. I mean, any given week, real weird, but I feel like the Bills are kind of a weird situation where they are like, I don't even know who they are.
They're kind of like the Chargers, dude. I think they're a good team not playing well. That's exactly what I would say.
Exactly.
I mean, the Cowboys are the same way. The Cowboys are a good team not playing well. But my argument, though, again, I think it also comes back to preseason. Why didn't we work on our coverage a little bit better in the preseason? Remember, we were dealing with the whole J.C. Jackson thing. Asante Samuel was in the slot. He was on the outside. They were moving him around. Why weren't we figuring that out earlier and just saying, nope, this is what you're doing, and that's it, right? And I get the argument of trying to make ASJ move around because he's our best corner right now for sure, by far. Oh, easily. Yeah, but again, the fourth quarter has been horrible, right? So it's so bad. I mean, I don't understand. And this was good. QJ beat man coverage and Herbert threw it incomplete to, exactly. And QJ's been open a lot more than he's not looking his direction. I don't understand why. I just don't get it.
And that's the thing. And you remember in our chat thread, we were chatting about that. And I was like, QJ had that dude beat on the right side, and then he threw it to basically Allen. Like, I think QJ's doing his thing. It's like, I don't know if it has something to do. Did Herbert injure his rib or something, and it hurts to throw that direction or something like that? Like, I don't get it, man. Like, get him involved. And I think there should have been a little bit more Darius Davis involved in this game. Like, I don't know, man. It's a frustrating process to sit here and say we're 2-4 because I think we could easily be 4-3. Or excuse me, does that mathematically makes sense?
4-2.
4-2. We could easily be 4-2 versus 2-4 right now.
Yeah. We shouldn't have lost to the stupid Titans. I don't know how the hell that happened. And but again, and again, stay ready. Yeah, he needs to get rid of that poontang. She's obviously screwing him up. Dude. What's going on here, dude? Or she's not doing her job. You need to handle that business. You need to start making him feel good in the bedroom. Okay? I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, exactly. And again, it's weird. He has regressed, and I don't understand how he's played this way. So I've been playing the defense. Go ahead.
Oh, I think there's another Herbert type situation here, but actually, let's talk about gold teeth here real quick. I've been blaming the defense and giving Herbert excuses. That second half defense played great, and I don't know what is wrong with Herbert. He's starting to look like a Walmart brand. Dan Mariano, or Dan Marino, excuse me. I read that completely wrong. So it's funny. This is the first game I really start feeling like I think we have late Phillip Rivers now. And late Phillip Rivers is the guy that just sits in the pocket, takes the sack, doesn't move out of the pocket when necessary. He starts throwing a lot of these fourth quarter like interceptions at the wrong time. He just tries to force the ball a little bit more. I personally said in 2017 we should have walked away from, or 2016 I should say, or is it 20? Wait, was Mahomes drafted in 2015 or 2016? Either which way. One of those two. Going into that draft, I said we should have probably let go of Justin Herbert or at least drafted a quarterback. We had the opportunity to draft him.
You're talking about Phillip Rivers, not Justin Herbert.
I'm sorry. Justin Herbert is not even in the NFL. I think he was still at Oregon at that time. Phillip Rivers, I felt like we should have walked away from Phillip Rivers at that time. We had the ability to draft Patrick Mahomes at that time, but we drafted Mike Williams going into LA. It would have been kind of a little bit of a controversial pick, but at the same side, the Chiefs did it. They had Alex Smith still, did fine. But I'm not bagging Justin Herbert by any means, but I'm just starting to see and feel like we're not seeing clutch Herbert at all. And we're starting to see late Phillip Rivers at this moment.
Chargers are a better team with Keenan. Justin Herbert's a better quarterback without Keenan. Think about it. There comes a point where I think he's so keyed in on Keenan Allen the entire time. He's not looking at anybody else. And look, I really think Herbert's been problemed. He's struggling. My God, this is great. Taylor Swift's more makeup than clowns do. Bro, I was so sick and tired of seeing her on the screen. I was like, please stop, dude.
It was like any good play by the Chiefs. what is Taylor Swift's response?
Oh my God, she's cheering.
Yeah.
So cool. Shut up, dude.
So stupid, man. So stupid, man. But
well, in Bolthead, just so you know, just so you guys know, the NFL is actually classified the same as WWE. It's considered sports entertainment. There are arguments that a lot of people say, and in fact, I was talking to some people at my house. We had a little barbecue at my place, and we were talking about how, dude, it could be rigged, right? And my buddy literally was like, there's no way that the Chiefs are going to lose because of the whole Taylor Swift thing, right? Because they're getting all these new fans to come here and be all of a sudden NFL fans, right? So there's a lot to be said about that. Now, again, I still think the Chargers didn't help themselves, but like, why did they play soft the entire first half and then all of a sudden decide to play football the second half defensively? Makes no sense to me. Just makes no sense. So
yeah, man, it's too frequently that it just kind of seemed. Now, once again, we could easily say that right now when we're the ones taking the hits on losing to these games and everything like that. But the team that's winning, AKA the Chiefs, like they'd be like, "Nah, man, it's not rigged, man. No way, man. We're doing good. It's all clean.
Yeah.
It's all clean. It's easy."
Yeah. And there's a lot to be said about this. And man, he's going to take a lot of heat. I think he's folding under some of that pressure. The one thing I will know about Justin Herbert as well, too, guys, he does not like to be on social media. He doesn't want to read what other people say. And again, you're right. It's not QJ's fault. It's definitely Herbert's fault, man. And again, these preventing 3rd and 15s. Oh my God, dude. That one where he ran, I was like, you've got to be kidding me, dude. Yeah. Birds on a wire. And then they just let him run. And by the way, I will say this, Mike Davis was held by that wide receiver on the side there when Mahomes ran it. He was held and it was not called. It really pissed me off that was not a call. So, And again, I don't understand. I feel like for whatever reason, Brandon Staley has gotten very soft in his play calls. Always a 4-man rush, always, just a base rush. And I don't understand what's going on with that. Chargers are regressing. Yep. And again, I tell you, losing to the Bears would be a real kick in the dick. That would be a real kick right square in the dick. I mean, it would be really bad. So, by the way, I don't know, is Fields going to be playing next week or is it going to be this other guy? I can't remember.
I have a buddy that's a Bears fan, and a lot of people I've already seen videos of people burning Justin Fields jerseys. He's not really playing that well. He's okay. That was it Tyler. I always call him Baguette because it kind of reminds me. It looks like it says Baguette or whatever. It's Bagnet or whatever his name is.
Bagnet, yeah.
Bagnet. I don't know, whatever his name is. But I mean, he played fine. I mean, albeit though, it's not like the Bears basically played the most elite of team or anything like that. But they played against the Raiders and they beat them. But at the same side, they also had Brian Hoyer, who hasn't won a game since 2016, I believe it is. So it's kind of like a little bit of like, I would imagine what they're going to do is they're going to probably start Justin Fields, see how he goes. If he doesn't do well, if he can play, they'll probably bring in, if he looks like crap, they're going to probably bring in Baguette over there and go from there.
Yeah. And again, this could be part of it too. Maybe Herbert has no leadership. I don't understand. There's a lot going on there. Bosa is looking very slow. He's looking very, very slow. It's interesting. I watched him like every snap. Like I literally keyed in on him a ton, man. And I don't know what his deal is. I know he's got a broken foot. He's struggling, but damn, dude. Yeah. I don't know. Something going on there.
There's a point to when you have an injury that you become a liability for you to be on the field. And I'll give you an exact example that I looked at and I was like, Bosa looks like he could run about as fast as me. And I'm slow. But it was the 3rd and 10 where there was a false start by the Chiefs, 3rd and 15, and then you give Mahomes 20 yards to get the first down, and they ran towards Bosa, and he looked like he was a dang sloth trying to catch him. Mahomes kind of knew that. Yep. Mahomes kind of knew that and said, like, well, my exit point's always going to be towards Bosa. He can't catch me. That's it. So
yeah, I'm very curious to see what happens with that. I don't even know what you'd get for him. He's so expensive. I mean, we could probably start talking dollars and stuff. I mean, but I know it's over 30 million. I think Mike Williams is something around $30 million as well too. Yeah, Travis Frederick. I'm trying to remember who that is. But yes, I have heard some people have these heart issues, right? Bosa, I don't know. I mean, look, Bosa looked bad. Derwin, by the way, has looked pretty bad too. I mean, I think it's really interesting. Again, like I don't understand why we didn't just man up Kelsey on Derwin. Just have, hey, Kelsey's out there. Guess what? He's not in there to block. He's in there to catch the damn ball. Yeah. So jam him at the line, run with him. But again, there was a couple times he was playing man and he was beat. Travis Kelsey beat him a couple times, right? So anyways, but my point is I think it could have been interesting moving forward.
I do think that there's a side with Derwin James. When I was watching the game, I was like, we need to play him like a traditional center or safety versus like letting him be this like guy all over the place.
Yep,
I think we need to really just make sure he becomes more of a ball hawk kind of guy versus like playing man coverage on whomever. I think that we could probably do a better job of putting just Sir Taylor on somebody and then basically having like Derwin James kind of just being that ball hawk all throughout the backfield of our defense.
Yeah. You know,
I think it does well at that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about this. And by the way, I am shocked that the Rams are playing. So actually, did the Rams win this game?
They were losing to the Steelers.
Yeah, okay.
Last time that I saw.
Anyways, my point is I thought that team was going to be horrible. And we're looking like the Rams. You know, we're 2-4, right? I mean, I'm like, wow, like we should not be the way we are. And so again, it'll be interesting to see how the again, the whole point, guys, is maybe we just leave it here too partially. The Spanos family got to make a decision, right? Because right now we're starting to look like a laughing stock. We got the highest paid quarterback out there, most expensive defense. Now, my other thought would be this. If I was Brandon Staley, guess what I would do? Derek Ainsley, you're going to be my defensive coordinator. You're running the calls. That's it. I would put it on him 100%. 100%. Why that would at least be good for Brandon Staley if he wants to remain a head coach for the Chargers, it would at least give that other person the opportunity to run the defense as a defensive coordinator. Because right now he's still continuing to do, whatever. Now, I don't think Brandon Staley will do that because he seems a bit too much of a micromanager, in my opinion.
Yep.
But anyways, it's something to think about, right, with Staley moving forward.
Yep. I mean, something's got to change. Something has to shift. I mean, I think it's encouraging to be able to see that he wanted to do some man coverage this game for once. It seemed like it did well, and he really held back the Chiefs' offense to do anything. But then again, they basically did it to us too. So it's kind of like something had to shift at this point. I don't think there's going to be any firings or anything at this point, but
it wouldn't happen for another couple games at least, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a little while down the road. But again, this game, why weren't we playing man the entire time? But look, this is what I want to see us do. Play damn man the rest of the stupid season, right? Or play whatever we were playing the whole second half. We played well, right? If we could stop the Chiefs, we could stop anybody at that point. Then play that way. I mean, yeah, exactly. And that's a really good point. But again, remember, it was on the first half. It was all first half. The second half was basically, we just couldn't do anything. And you're right. Herbert does look scared. I know I know we're kind of saying the same thing over and over again. It would be interesting to see though, what we could get for someone like a Bosa, what we could trade and get him for him, maybe a 6th round pick or a 5th round pick and take some of that stuff. But again, it's interesting. I watched most of that Patriots game today. JC Jackson did not look good. He looked okay. I'm going to pull up his stats on it because he did not look awesome. He looked okay, but because they did win the game. Yeah.
Just going back to the Bosa, possible trade or whatnot. I always kind of threw out there that he's going to get traded to the Niners because the Niners got tons of money over there. Yeah, and they're a very aggressive team trying to get to a Super Bowl. And so, I mean, what's not to say to put Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa out there? I mean, they're going to want as many playmakers as they possibly can on that team. And, does it make sense for us? Yeah. We have Thule. But then again, we have Mac, who is an older guy too, who is doing well. But next year is going to be a fickle one for us all around. It's going to be interesting, man.
JC Jackson, 5 tackles. So he was the 3rd highest tackler for the Patriots. So he did well. He did better than I expected, man. I mean, but it is interesting.
Yep.
It's just crazy. Yeah, and he did get burned a number of times. Again, the thing that I saw with JC is he always wanted to get that, intercept. He didn't care about just team defense. That's what killed him with the Chargers, in my opinion. Right? It was I didn't care about whatever. It was now I want my pick. I want my pick. I want my pick. But there's a lot to be said about this. But again, you start losing. It's starting to look pretty bad. At this point.
People start checking out a little bit when you keep losing. So it's
look at Minnesota. Justin Jefferson. I don't think he's coming back. He might just say, "Sorry, I'm not coming back." By the way, stay ready. Just so you know, QJ has been open a lot downfield, but again, I don't know if he's running the right routes. I don't know if he's supposed to be running go routes or just deep posts or whatever. But for whatever reason, he's open a lot, and it's bad. I don't understand. Very interesting. Here's Kyle. Here with Kelly. Something's holding Herbert back. Is it coaches, confidence? Is it the players? I think it's confidence. He just seems a little rattled for some reason, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you think it's Herbert? Do you think it's coaches? I guess people probably say it's coaches from what I'm seeing.
And it's the knives are out for everybody at this point, and it's a blaming game. And it's very hard to be able to put your finger on whatever it might be. I would probably lean a little bit more on coaching at this point. More than anything. Me as not a guy that's coached an NFL team or a Pee Wee team or a flag football team. I played a lot of Madden in my life, and I'm pretty good at that, by the way. So
you just run deep outs or what's that one? It's just all goes or whatever.
Remember, it was Joe Montana football on Sega Genesis back in the days. You just bomb them all out every time. But the thing about it is like coaching elements, like what we've talked about in that one play where Justin Herbert could have just had the edge and could have just ran it in. Just do a quick little pump fake. Just show a threat and keep running. Like, this is the second game in a row where he's done that, where he could have just pump faked and got into it and got right into a field goal or in a touchdown or get you a first down or whatnot. He's not doing that. He's like scared to try to go after it. And I understand it's like his finger, but there's little coaching things that are not happening. And this is a relatively young coaching staff. And we're seeing kind of that issue here. Chargers, please reach out to us and give us a contract for coaching tips here, guys, because I think we got some ideas for you.
we got some ideas. We got we got a fee. We got a fee in mind. No big deal. And by the way, Badgett went to a Division II school, man. And it's interesting. I was even thinking a lot about this the other day. I was talking to a buddy of mine about Brock Purdy, and everyone's like, "Oh, Brock Purdy's so elite," and I'm like, "Yeah, he's got a lot of elite players, right?" Again, it's not just that people are getting open, right? It's does the quarterback trust that person? Because again, that's the argument that Keenan Allen's always open. He's always open, and he catches the ball. Josh Palmer's always open, and he catches the ball. But Quentin Johnson hasn't done a whole lot with Herbert up to this point. But then you start having conversations around these guys, like this guy Badgett, right? He went out and said, "Screw it, let's just go see what happens," and he looked fine. So actually, they ran the ball a lot. I think the running back had like 3 rushing touchdowns, if I remember correctly.
Right.
And actually, KC was pretty penalized this game as well too. I did notice that quite a bit.
They did. I was kind of expecting to see some of those calls come back around. Like, so for instance, it was that fumble that happened. I was like, I bet they're going to look at that, review that, and be like, nope, it wasn't a fumble. We'll give it back to the Chiefs kind of thing. Like, critical part of the game kind of thing. I was expecting that, but they actually played a pretty clean game in general. I mean, I think there was still a couple kind of iffy calls through the game, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. And again, this is a good point too. Wildcats, every player got their money, sucks. Think about it. And again, you have to ask us. See, maybe this is. I thought about this a lot a couple of days ago. I thought a lot about this with Bill Belichick. Again, he wouldn't pay J.C. Jackson. And now we're actually paying for J.C. Jackson, and he's back with the freaking Patriots, which is even more embarrassing as a situation. But there is something to be said about just putting rookies in there and just getting the rookies to play. sometimes it's kind of like goes back to the Padres. James and I are Padres fans. Sometimes you have too many elite people in a room. It does not work, right? It does not work. And you got Mac, you got Bosa, you got all these guys out there. JC Jackson wanted to play and yada, yada. And all these guys getting all this money. You start having problems in the locker room. It's nicer when you have these rookies that are out there just wanting to play. I just want to play.
Eager guys.
Eager guys.
Yep.
And you need a mixture of both, in my opinion. But I think that might be what is going on with the Chargers a little bit here as well, too. And I don't know. Maybe there's some things that are said to Herbert. Maybe he's losing some. I don't know. It just seems really strange. But again, not having Mike Williams out there has definitely hurt us for sure. That's the other piece of that puzzle.
I remember watching an interview. Somebody was asking about Deion Sanders. Would you make that leap to the NFL? And he said, you know what? Why would I go to the NFL and want to have these 20, 30-year-old dudes, multimillionaires that don't care to listen to you?
100%.
Look, people get paid and sit and they don't care. I don't care what you're thinking about. I got paid. Who cares? So I think there is something to that. And that takes leadership to be able to get these dudes motivated to be able to do things. If you look at the Chiefs right now, their defense is extremely young, not very crazy high paying outside of Chris Jones, pretty much. They have
and the Niners are the same way too. The Niners have a very cheap defense and they're playing great.
And they have $45 million still to spend this year if they want to do.
The other thing I would say too, right? That's where I think the draft is so important. If you're noticing also, this is one of the things I thought about as well a couple of days ago, because I was thinking about what if we did dump the team, yada, yada, start firing people, yada, yada. Yeah. The problem though is you have to build in the draft, especially when you have a quarterback that's getting paid as much money as Justin Herbert is now.
100%.
At some point he's going to have, dude, it's banging money, dude. Banging money. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting dude. And the soft coverage, I think, just killed us. I don't understand why we were just so soft. Again, we could talk about this all day.
Yeah.
And Herbert's underperformed. Anyways, there was someone said something about the Terry Williams. Any idea how healthy athletes across the country have heart troubles? Look, I'll tell you right now, the vaccines, man, a lot of people talk about that.
A lot of it. I
know
people that have had issues with it.
Yep.
So it's scary stuff, man. And I mean, it doesn't help. I always think about Big Red on our team. And I remember going in a training camp, they'd always show him just pounding a energy drink every time. And I'm like, bro, your heart's going to explode, dude.
Bro, no joke. Dude. Yeah.
That's crazy. So I'll even blame, high caffeinated drinks too.
Yep. By the way, I Murray has played great. I'll be honest with you. I was like the biggest negativity guy on that guy, but he's actually played a lot better. I mean, it's his 5th year. Just goes to show you he's motivated. He knows he needs to get out there and play and prove to the NFL that he can play. But, Davis has been off, but I think he's been okay. But I don't think they'll re-sign him for sure. I think he's not going to be re-signed. No. And again,
it's weird about Davis because he basically the last 3 years have been just off year, on year, off year so far. We just can't find consistency with him. I mean, he's a great player and everything, but I don't know if he's losing his speed, if he's losing his confidence, or if he had another issue with some girl, if that girl's blowing him up again. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. Tough as an NFL player in general, man. There's a lot of outside, sliding in the DMs, and then there's a lot of crazy women out there too, so
for sure. Always, dude. Always, man. Yeah. And again, I mean, there's a lot to be said about this, guys. And again, there's still time to right the ship. I understand we're frustrated, we're angry, but again, if we just handle business against the Bears and then show up against the Jets, look, the Jets are not a good offense. They are not good. Okay. Honestly, I would stack the box, stop the run, and make, what's his bucket beat you. I should know because I live in Utah. Zach Wilson beat you, right? And he's not a good quarterback. He struggles. He doesn't do a lot of good things. But they're clearly improving there as well too. But again, I think you're right, Andrew. We need a new identity, right? But look, we got all the pieces. We got QJ, we got Darius Davis, Palmer, Thule.
I think we got some good young core right now, and The whole thing is, and I know we've chatted a little bit about it, and this is actually a comment I wanted to chat a little bit about too. So that, we have guys, if we decide to trade people off during the trade deadline, I think that Bears game is really going to decide if we're going to make a move at that point. If we end up losing that game and say we could get like a second, third round picks for whatever type player we want to throw off or anything like that, you know, what does that do? All right. Helps offload a little bit of salary and everything too. We start basically getting a little bit more pieces to build a little bit more towards the future. If we feel that the 2024 draft is going to be very solid for certain positions, cornerbacks, maybe wide receiver, running backs, whatever it might be. If we feel we got guys in that position that we want to go after, it's a good time to basically make a decision for the future. And, you know, at the same side, Brandon Staley might not be there next year, but, you know, we'll see kind of where it's at this point. But it does give you kind of a little bit of a transition point if, say, John Harbaugh or Eric Bieniemy's done a good job with like Sam Howell. Now, I'm not saying he's an elite guy or anything like that, but, you know, Sam Howell's not on the same level as Justin Herbert. If Eric Bieniemy had the ability to come over here and to coach them, or Jim Harbaugh or Bill Belichick, which is kind of one that's been kind of floating around a little bit too. So, you know, you start kind of thinking about that. I mean, now it really means that the ownership would want to make that move. I mean, Eric Bieniemy would be the cheapest one out of that list to be able to come over here as a head coach. Jim Harbaugh will cost you some money, and obviously Bill Belichick will cost you a lot of money too. So it's an interesting conversation, and I think as the year kind of develops, we'll kind of figure out a better idea all around of what we're going to be looking at next year.
Yeah. You know, look, I know it sucks to lose, right? You know, we sit there and think, you know, we wanted the Chargers to step up, and so it's unfortunate, right? You know, there's a lot of things we could do differently, but I think if I have a frustration with Brandon Staley, it's his inability to adjust and change. And he did that the second half of this game, but why didn't he play aggressively defensively the first half? I don't understand why you would come out with the Chiefs and just play the way that they were playing. I mean, it was just so much soft zone, dude. And Tony Romo said that 100 times over, dude, you're giving me too much room. I mean, it was stupid. And again, I'm sure there's plenty you want to talk about that as well too, James.
Actually, Bart Budkiss says, Bill Belichick, come on, man. What the hell are you talking about? The Crafts are talking about it. I believe they are talking about it. There is some conversation out there that's happening about it. So things are getting stale. He hasn't had a winning record since Tom Brady left.
Yeah.
It was Tom Brady that made the Patriots. So either which way, Herbert has always had the issue. He never uses his legs and is scared to take hits. He is always slides early and is afraid of getting hit. Yeah. I mean, that's to an extent very true. I mean, I think it doesn't help when you basically have a jacked up finger too. I mean, there's times that he slid where he keeps his hand up in the air because he doesn't want to hit the turf or whatnot with it.
Right.
So
Alex. So by the way, just so you know, Alex is he's a Chiefs fan. He's on the Wild West podcast where they talk about the AFC West. So, but DC at the school that absolutely smoked Badge in the playoffs last year. And again, you know, it just boils down to, you know, he's, you know, making some good plays. We'll see what happens as well. I mean, maybe Herbert should be forced to retire. Yeah, but think of it this way, guys. Like, I was thinking about this a lot, right? Remember when the Rams traded away Goff? I thought Goff was done. I'd never liked Goff to begin with, and now he's just absolutely killing it with a better offensive coordinator, right? So there is something to be said about both sides of the ball. But again, maybe we're overthinking things. Maybe Justin Herbert's overthinking things a little too much at the line. You know, there's something a little off. But again, like, why were we so bad the second half? Why were they bad the second half? You know, and why didn't we play, you know, more aggressively? You know, again, but and we are being held accountable because, dude, we have too large a salary cap to be this bad, right? I mean, come on. I mean, there are teams that are way overperforming us with like half of the the talent we have, and so it does come down to coaching. It really does, right? And stupid play calls.
A lot of media always ends up hyping up the Chargers in the offseason, and they always feel like, hey, they have some great potential. But can they get over the hump? Can they figure out a way to be able to get to that next level and that next gear as a team? They have all the talent in the world, but can they get to that next level? And it seems like
exactly.
it's just kind of a constant reoccurring theme with this team, like underperforming, paying a lot of dudes, and they just end up sitting and not doing really well. Yeah, and this is the thing about Stay Ready's comment. K9's balling. K9's trying to get a contract too, by the way, guys. That's the thing of being stay hungry and being eager players. That's what the Chiefs are right now. But they also have the ability to go to multiple Super Bowls, whoever's on that team. Like, best believe Drew Tranquil probably had multiple different contracts given to him, and he probably got one from the Chiefs. And he's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind going deep in the playoffs and possibly get to a Super Bowl and win one. I'll take a $2 million salary a year or whatever he ended up signing. It was a real small contract.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot we can discuss in this. I know we're kind of saying the same thing over and over again here. It's tough, guys. I mean, there's just a lot to be said about this, man. And it's, and K9 has played great, man. He's played awesome. And again, Andy Reid's been with Patrick Mahomes a very long time, and they know what they're doing. They understand what they're doing. And again, I don't think Belichick's coming to the Chargers. That's not going to happen. He wants to stay on the East Coast. I think he might even retire, dude. If they let him go, he might just be done, man. The guy's what, 70 something?
Yeah.
So why would he even? He's gonna go fishing the rest of his life.
But you go to Pete Carroll and you seeing him over there throwing bombs in practice to his wide receivers, and he's like 74, chewing gum like no other.
Yep. And this, it is. Yeah. Too many individuals and not a good team. I think we got a lot of personalities in that locker room.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Like, to me, all right, maybe I'll just wrap up here. I'll give you my thoughts here. Look, because we're a little over an hour now. I'll say this. I really truly believe that I don't understand why we didn't always just play the way we played the second half. Press man, get in people's faces. Don't let them run. Like, that's how we beat Miami that last season, right? We jammed them at the line. We did not let them run free. I don't understand why we consistently go back to this soft zone coverage and it's just weird to me. I don't get it. Like, if you want to play at soft zone occasionally, okay, fine. But on third down, play press man. Let them beat you. Don't just let them have an ability to beat you, right? You're playing not to win or not to lose, right? You're just playing soft. Then secondarily, I do think there's something wrong with Herbert. I don't know what it is. He just looks off to me. And I don't know what it is. And I think he's a little stressed out. And I don't get it.
Yeah. And said, just go on this comment here real quick with Johnny.
Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Spanos supposed to be forced to sell the team. It starts at the top with every organization always, and so Diaz Spanos has been a big advocate of having him sell the team. There were some issues that I don't remember what it was, but something within the organization that she just wasn't vibing with. She was saying that the Spanoses don't have money. All these different things. And so she's trying to force the point. I was hoping to be able to win the $1.7 million Powerball so I could get a nice chunk of the Chargers, but it didn't work out, guys. Sorry, I'm still working a job here.
I want some of the Chargers. Come on now.
Yeah, let me get up on that. It's crazy. There's a report that I think it was Tom Brady trying to buy like 10% of the Raiders at like $175 million or something like that, which is like way undercutting like the value of the team. But either which way, total side note there. But I would have put in a lot more money to get 10%, in my opinion. I would have been amped. But either which way, who knows? Like, that's something that seems to be building towards something happening. I mean, the NFL does push out owners sometimes. You saw what happened with the Commanders, Washington football team, Redskins, whatever their name is, and they'll probably change it back to the Redskins, in my opinion. They should. They should. But the NFL does find a way to push out owners, and I don't know if Spanoses are the ones that are rattling cages, but there is little speculations of things kind of going on there. So we'll see where that leads it in years to come. So
yeah, and again, it's such a long conversation, guys. Ownership, management, yeah, and I don't know, dude. There's something going on with Herbert, dude. Having girl issues. What's going on, man? Let's get him some Viagra. Maybe he's having a hard time getting it up. I mean, who knows, man? We got to get some of the Blue Bombers, dude. Just take care of business. You know what I mean? Bone her down, dude. Make it happen, dude. Come on now. But again, it's like, it's just so strange to me, like, where we're having issues. And again, someone brought up a good point here. And you're speaking my language. Who was this person?
Is it on the topic of the Blue Bombers? Is that what you're trying to say?
Blue Bombers? No, yeah, they're pretty good. I'll say Alice better. No. Cal, where was this? Anyways, I was talking about the too high safety.
Oh yeah, the too deep over the top. Too deep roof over the top. Scared D. Tyreek is gone.
Yep. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's cover 3 scheme that doesn't work. I agree. And again, it worked well with the Rams because you had Jalen Ramsey and you had Aaron Donald. You don't have that here. We don't have one. Again, J.C. Jackson was supposed to be that guy. Didn't work out.
Yep.
So to me, you still have to go with what works for us. That worked for us. We looked way better the second half. Let's just play that way the rest of the season, man. Like it makes it great. If you want to go too high safety occasionally, great. Mix it up occasionally. But I like Derwin James in coverage. Dude, I don't know. I just really feel like there's a lot to be said about that. I mean, to me, there's a lot to be said about that. I don't know. Yep. We're kind of saying the same thing over and over again, but what are your thoughts, James?
Well, I could give you my last thoughts if you want to wrap this thing up.
Sure. It's been an hour.
The one thing that I'm having a problem with this team, and going back to when Justin Herbert did get in the draft in 2020, a lot of people said that he's not a leader. He's not a verbal guy. He's not one of those dudes to really lead a team very well. It's like he's more action speaks louder than words kind of leader. And he believes that he's going to go out there and show that I'm a leader based on the field. And he's not really verbalizing to people that he's this leader. The hard part of it is I don't think we have a leader on this team at this moment. Yeah. Somebody needs to find a way to step up on this team and be that dude. Like I remember last year, I want to say Bash did get some of the players together and started just having like team meetings and such. I mean, I don't even know if we're having team dinners anymore. Like, I don't know if that's even happening because that's one of the things that I could say last year that Mac did a lot with this team. And I remember Mac specifically saying in training camp, well, I think Justin Herbert should be that guy because he's got all that money now. And is Justin Herbert doing that, dude? Or is he just hanging out at his house with his girl or whatever? Like there needs to be some sort of leadership with this team to really just light a fire under everybody's butts, get them going and do your dang job, dude. Like it is frustrating to watch. This team is too talented to be where they're at right now.
Yeah, and they really are.
Somebody needs to speak up. Somebody needs to speak up.
Yeah, and I don't get it, but again, you only do as much as your head coach tells you to do, and your coaches, right? So some of that is on Brandon Staley, right? Some of that's on also Kellen Moore, right? Yep. To be honest with you, I liked what Kellen Moore is doing. It does seem like a confidence issue for Herbert for whatever reason, but I did notice he was audibling a lot. Herbert audibled a lot, so I don't know what the original play call was. And I don't know what he checked into. I don't know if he was checking into a run, checking into a pass or whatever. But oh my goodness, dude, it was crazy to see all this stuff. Again, I could talk about this all day. I mean, this is, we'll talk more about this. We'll probably do another recap video, final thoughts. I'll try not to drink a whole bottle of bleach tonight and end it all for me. You know what I mean?
I got some Tide Pods ready to go, dude. So we
I'm gonna snack on some Tide Pods tonight. Yeah, Taylor Biscotti, not cool, dude. You better be licking his wounds and making him, a freaking champion again. Biscotti, I'm not happy with you, dude, at all, dude. Not happy with you. Come on now. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, we've been here an hour, and we're, I know this is a bit of a free therapy session for everybody here, guys. Oh, Bolt Babes, how we doing? Well, you showed up right as soon as it was about to end. Good for you guys. Awesome.
There you go.
Always good seeing you guys. But
we will be at the Bears game next week, guys. Yep. So we will be there regardless, and crying or laughing or whatever. But we're gonna have a good time regardless. I was gonna throw out one comment too. We were talking possibly about dressing up because it's the Halloween game, and we we're kind of thinking about some ideas. I mean, we talked about the Three Amigos there for a little bit, and we talked about like Greek gods and stuff. So who knows? I don't know if we're gonna even do anything or not.
The Three Amigos would be pretty funny, dude. I think the Three Amigos would be hilarious.
I think it'd be hilarious. And I did find some Three Amigos outfits on Amazon, so it's possible if you want to be Lucky Day or Ned Niederlander.
Ned Niederlander. Yes, I want to be Dusty Bottoms.
Dusty Bottoms. Okay.
Dusty Bottoms. Oh my gosh, dude, that's so funny. Yeah, Chevy Chase. So we're thinking about having a costume for the game. I think that'd be super fun. And guys, Bolt Babes, everybody, reach out to us. Again, we don't know. We might come to the Ravens game because it's around Thanksgiving. But dude, like, please reach out to us. We'd love to see you guys. We'd love to chat with you, Bolt Babes. I know you've been a very support of the channel. Please reach out to us. Shoot us an email. Our emails are down below somewhere. Give us your information so we can get a hold of you guys for sure. So, anyways, but that would be pretty good. So
I could say one thing, Andrew. I don't know if we could be the three amigos because Kyle's out. So we got the two amigos now, right? You know, he's done.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is out. That's right. Okay, guys, we are taking applications. Remember, Kyle is no longer a Bolt Bro. He has been ousted, voted out. Done.
He's done.
So,
but if we do bring somebody else in, we call ourselves the three Bromigos. So
three Bromigos. I like that. Oh, there we go. The three Bromigos. I like that. Oh my gosh. Oh, Bolt Babe will take his place. Okay. All right. Hey,
let's go.
Kyle, you're out, bro. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, bro. Okay.
See you, bud.
Later, dude.
Oh, that's great.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Well, again, guys, reach out to us. We are planning on being there for the Bears game. You know, we'll go from there. Yeah. Two bros and some babes. I like that. That's all good too.
Larry, hey, Kyle's just in the penalty box because he said he
Yeah.
were to lose this game. So we told him, hey,
he jinxed us these last two games. Freaking jerk.
Yeah. He's being the naysayer of the group here. It's all positive around here, guys. It's all positive.
It's all positive. It's all love. It's all love. Except Kyle. We got to get rid of his ass. He done. All righty, guys. Well, we've moved on from this, but again, guys, this is a tough one, dude. This is a tough one. So, you know, hey, it's rough, man. This is a tough game. But we are the Bolt Bros. We'll see you guys at the Bears game. We'll do some more content. Obviously, we'll get it out there as well too. Yeah, YouTube seems to be putting us in the penalty box for some reason. I don't know what's going on with our videos, but we'll see what happens. We pissed them off somehow. We don't know what we did, but anyways, we'll get it figured out.
No doubt, but we'll keep you guys updated through the week and everything, guys. But once again, guys, stay bolted, my friends, and Bolt Bros. Let's
go.